Welcome to the Aspiring Kryptonians, a podcast for Superman fans, hosted by Superman fans and focused around all things, you guessed it, Superman. After all, we are Aspiring Kryptonians. From comics, TV, film and animation, each week we discuss our thoughts on the latest releases, news and even some retrospective reviews. So without further ado, let's get the show on the road. Okay, hello and welcome to the Aspiring Kryptonians podcast. This is of course episode 1 with me, Tasmin, and the rest of the team. Ashley.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
And Evan.
Hello.
So considering this is the first episode, we've got quite a little bit to cover. So first of all, we're going to talk about our love and history with Superman, or love for and history with Superman. We're going to talk about a look back at our favourite future state Superman issues, Superman and Lois episode 1, Zack Snyder's Justice League, and the new Superman film announcement. So as you can tell, we've got quite a lot to cover. So just to sort of start off so you can get to know us a little bit, we're just going to go around the group with some questions about our experiences with Superman. So I'm going to start with Ashley and ask you what your first memory or introduction to Superman was.
Well, Superman has been a character for me that has always been in my consciousness. You know, the symbol, the emblem, the cape. He's always been around, even before really truly understanding the character or being exposed to him through cartoons or films. He's just always been there. You know, that symbol is ingrained in my mind, like with so many other fans, before truly getting to know the character. I would say my first real exposure to Superman is definitely the original movie by Richard Donner. A rainy Sunday afternoon, a rerun on television. Christopher Reeves, of course, capturing the imagination. That is definitely my entry into the Superman pantheon, and truly believing a man can fly, for me, definitely.
How about you, Evan?
For me, it was very distinctly the first time I ever knew who Superman was. My dad bought me a action figure of Superman, and it was, I actually have it on the shelf over there. It was it was Mullet Superman. It was that line with the, with Steel and Superboy and all that. And that was my first action figure. And I was like, who is this? He's like, it's Superman. So then later, like a year later, or maybe a couple months, the animated series came on for the first time, and we watched the premiere of that, and I was hooked on that after that. So, and then there was a few comic books here and there that he would show me, but yeah, after the animated series, that was it. He's my favorite.
Yeah, and for me, my first introduction to Superman was Dean Kane in Lois and Clark from the 90s. So I remember my first actual memory, I was sort of 3 or 4, and my granddad would try and get me to keep quiet so he could watch the TV program, and he'd try and get me hooked into it, and he'd be like, look, Taz, he can fly, look how strong he is, and it's obviously worked.
Nice.
Well, I think you kind of covered my next question, Ashley. So what is it about Superman that you love, Evan?
Well, I mean, I just love that his motivation for being a hero is just because he can help people and it's the right thing to do. Like, there's no, like, his parents didn't die. Well, his parents did die, but it's not like it's a revenge thing. It's not, there's not any other motivation besides this is the right thing to do. I have the power to do it, so I'm going to do it.
And what's your favorite thing, Ashley?
Yeah, I think to echo our esteemed colleague there, the goodness of the character. He's been given power and he uses it for good, for justice. I think that is something so pure and so simple about it, just doing the right thing for everyone, for all mankind. And I think it's just a beautiful thing, really, not driven by anything other than because it's right.
Yeah. And for me, I pretty much love everything about him. But yeah, again, echoing what you guys have said. But my favorite thing is that where other superheroes sort of aspire to be gods and purposefully try to be better than the average human being, he's the total opposite to that. So he is the otherworldly being that aspires to be one of us rather than the other way around. But, okay, so quick fire round. So I'm going to shout a question and you shout the first thing that pops into your head or your favorite, that thing that pops into your head. So we'll go Ashley first, then Evan, and then I'll give my answer. So I've had time to think about it, so I'm kind of biased.
So one word answers for us?
It's just whatever pops into your head. So for example, the first question is your favorite Superman film.
Man of Steel. Definitely
Superman
straight
Returns.
off the bat.
Superman Returns.
Actually, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, Man of Steel for me too. Favorite TV series?
Smallville.
Superman the Animated Series.
And Lois and Clark for me. Favorite comic book or storyline?
Oh, wow. Gary Frank and Jeff Johns' Secret Origin.
Oh, okay, nice.
Good choice.
I would say Our Worlds at War. Just kind of obscure, but I love it.
And for me, I think it's probably whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow. That's a really good one. So for you, who is your Superman?
I'm going to go very modern. I'm going to go with Henry Cavill. Just absolutely tremendous.
Nice. Dan Jurgens' portrayal of Superman in his writing and in his illustrations.
Oh, that's not the answer I was expecting. I was thinking of an actor, but for me, it's Henry Cavill as well.
Well, if I had to pick an actor, okay, he might not visually embody the character the way that is the most excellent, but as far as acting and the portrayal, it's Dean Kane for me.
Nice.
I just really like the way he does it.
And this is probably one of the most important questions I'm going to ask you, but trunks or no trunks?
Oh boy, I really liked the no trunks look for the New 52. I really liked that costume a lot, but I'll go with trunks.
Trunks always and forever, and never anything else.
See, for me, it depends on the situation. So for artwork purposes, like for just iconic looks, I'd go for trunks. But in reality, no trunks because it's just not practical. Favorite villain?
I've recently got to really enjoy Metallo. I think he's got a very tragic story, so I'm going to go for Metallo.
Mine's probably one that nobody's ever heard of. It's Conduit, who was back before Superman revealed his secret identity. He was like Superman's Green Goblin, the only villain who knew Superman's secret identity that wasn't like, General Zod or whatever, but went after Clark more than he went after Superman. He hated Clark Kent.
Yeah, I don't know that one, so I'm gonna have to.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that one up. But my favorite, and he's really underrated and underused, and I can't pronounce his name, but it's Mixie.
Nice.
Okay, favorite non-Superman related hero.
Favorite non-Superman related hero, so I'm going to obviously go with old hornhead Daredevil.
Nice.
A very, very close second. Yeah, I love Matt.
Yeah, my second is another a little more obscure character is Cassandra Kane, Batgirl. I think she's so cool.
Mine's pretty standard, but it's Wonder Woman.
Nice.
So yeah, I think that should give you guys a pretty good picture of who we are as Superman fans and where we stand in the Superman world with our favorites and things like that. So I'm sure at some point we'll go into a lot more detail as to what we like and what we don't like in our discussions. Sure. So, but for now we'll move on. So next up is Future State. So what do you guys think of that?
So we're talking about the Future State with John Kent. And then are we talking about House of L or Legion or? Well,
just sort of, what are your favorite issues from the whole event? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it?
Okay.
I'm definitely gonna go. Go for it.
Nobody was saying anything, so I hate awkward silence, so I'll always fill it with my annoying voice. Yeah, I really loved Legion and House of L a lot. I thought they were great. I was really glad that Legion is not going to be like the status quo that they presented there. That was originally going to be the new status quo back when they were doing 5G. I'm glad that's not happening, but as an alternate future thing, it was cool. I liked it a lot. And then House of L was awesome. I said in my review, the written review, that I thought this could be like a legitimate canon future for the Superman family. I thought that was great. And I did not enjoy the John Kent stuff. So.
Oh. Ashley, how about you?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the Batman and Superman team-up book. I thought it was absolutely outstanding. Ben Oliver's artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Oliver does not do enough interior artwork for me. He done a load of great variant covers for the Jimmy Olsen series recently. Batman Superman was awesome. It was really good. It was really dark, a very cold, callous future take on Gotham. It reminded me a lot of science fiction movies like Minority Report and Equilibrium in terms of the color palette.
I didn't get to read those.
Yeah, it was a really good little two-issue story arc. It incorporated some old characters as well, some familiar villains to Gotham. And I agree, I didn't enjoy the Jonathan Kent stuff too much. It was a little bit. It didn't marry up too well because I also read Superman Wonder Woman, and he was kind of different in those. So wasn't too mad on that one. Yeah.
They were very different.
I did read Justice League Future State, and he wasn't too different in that one, I didn't think, but he wasn't the main character, so didn't get a whole lot of time with him.
Yeah.
I think for me, my favorite was House of Al and Worlds of War. I just in terms of writing, Philip Kennedy Johnson knocked out of the park. So those two issues really got me excited for what's to come in Superman and Action Comics. But with Worlds of War, what I loved was it was like a love letter to Superman, and he was sort of just acting in as a sort of not a flashback. It's just happening on another world, whereas the girl who is inspired by Superman is the narrator, which I quite liked. And
I loved how they made Smallville resemble the actual Metropolis, Illinois.
They did a little bit, actually. I didn't think of that.
When they made it a Superman fan town. And I loved the new Black Racer, the female Black Racer.
Do you know what? I'll be honest. Because those books had 3 or 4 stories in them, I kind of focused on the Superman story, and I didn't really read the other ones. I'll be honest.
Yeah, well, for the John Kent ones, the Mr. Miracle stuff, I did not read that.
Yeah,
it's like I tried, but it just did not hold my attention. Yeah. But the Black Racer stuff, I love Black Racer. He's a cool character. He's like the Silver Surfer, but he's the embodiment of death for the new gods. And the new one looks way cooler than the old one. So I'm on board.
That's cool.
And with House of Al, I just loved the fact that, you've seen it with, I'm kind of jumping the gun a little bit, but you've seen it with the announcements that it might be a black Superman that they're doing in this new Superman film.
Yes.
But you've seen all the uproar from some fans saying, oh, you can't be black, blah, blah, blah. But this story in House of Al just kind of brought every possible race and different background of person together, and they all put them into one family, which I quite liked.
Nice.
And in terms of artwork, we haven't mentioned this one yet, but Kara Zor-Al's Superwoman was my favorite in terms of artwork by Marguerite Sauvage. I'm sorry if I say the name incorrectly, but I'm terrible with pronunciation, but that's how I read it. But the artwork was just really unique, and that kind of drew me into the book a little bit more, because the story itself was it was good, but it wasn't anything spectacular. But the artwork really got me in.
Yeah, I didn't get to read that one either.
In terms of artwork, I have to say I thought that Superman, was it War of Worlds?
Yeah.
I thought the artwork for that, the promo stuff leading up to it, just looked absolutely incredible. It really reminded me of Edgar Rice Burroughs' kind of Warlords of Mars and that kind of stuff. So it looks fantastic, and I think it was Mikkel Janin who was on the interiors, I believe. Yeah, he absolutely knocked it out of the park for me. Absolutely superb.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a long time. Sorry. It took me a long time to understand that Superman was not wearing any clothes in that, because the cover is like tinted, right? So I thought, oh, well, he's wearing like a white suit but no, it's just his skin. It's like
just underwear.
Yeah.
The trunks.
Yes.
Nobody mentioned Superman versus Imperious Lex, which to me sounds like a dinosaur.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was all right. It was a good story. It wasn't bad. I think it was nice to see the tables turned a little bit on the way obviously it's the people of Lexor, so they saw Lex Luthor as a god and hated Superman. So it was nice to see the dynamic changed a little bit.
I didn't get to read that either because I only have so much money to spend on comics. To
be honest, it has been expensive.
Unless I get some sort of reviewer access to their comic books, that would be great if I could get that.
Yeah, we're trying. Hopefully, you'll listen.
If I could give
that message is for DC.
If I could definitely recommend one though, guys, non Superman related. Just a quick shout out to Wonder Woman, Yara Flor, the South American Wonder Woman, absolutely sensational again. Really good series. Jolie Jones, I believe, artwork. Knocks it out of the park. A great addition to the DC pantheon, and I can't wait to see what she does next because I was enthralled by her character.
There were rumors that they were going to do a TV program of her. I can't remember whether it was HBO Max or to do with the CW, but I've heard that was announced and now it's been cancelled.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that.
Yeah. So I was excited, but it's very short-lived.
It looks very interesting, and I can't wait to read it on DC Infinite when it comes out.
Yeah. Okay, so on to Superman and Lois episode 1. So Ashley admitted before we hit record that he hadn't seen it, so he might not tune in a little bit too much on this one. But yeah, what did you think?
Well, I loved it. I thought it was so good. And I've watched through Supergirl, and this is just on another level for the CW. And Crisis on Infinite Earths was great too, but this is just a real Superman show, and it's really great. We haven't seen this sort of Superman content on TV since Lois and Clark, and even in Lois and Clark, it was kind of, the focus wasn't on the time in the suit, and here they strike a nice balance.
Yeah, I loved it too. Well, as soon as it was announced, I was a little bit skeptical because I knew that it was going to be within the CW. And yeah, like you, I've watched everything, I think, all the different series. And they've kind of gone down in quality for me as time goes on. And they've just, I don't know, they're just not hitting what they were when they first started for me. And there's some very cheesy moments and some very bad CGI moments as well. But you don't see any of this in Superman and Lois, which is really nice to see, and I hope they stick with that as well.
Well, and the CGI we are getting in Superman and Lois is probably even a step above the really good CGI that we've seen in the other CW shows. So it's been awesome. I love the Superman suit, even though it doesn't have the trunks. But, well, at least the main one doesn't have the trunks. They did have the trunks in his Fleischer tribute suit, which was awesome.
Yes, I love that they did that, and I hope that they do a few more flashbacks into him sort of becoming Superman. So I hope we get to see some different suits and different situations from comics, because that was literally pulled straight out of the comic book from what the kid said. Oh, I like your suit, and he's like, thanks, my mum made it for me. So that was literally pulled straight.
Very wholesome.
And that's my favorite Superman suit origin. I don't like it when it's a Kryptonian thing. I like that Mark Kent makes it.
Yeah, adds a nice touch.
Great. And I will admit that I wasn't super crazy about the two leads in the CW stuff, especially the actress who plays Lois. I just wasn't wowed by her performance in the CW stuff. But here, it's great. I don't know. Like I think she's playing it more serious, and it's just working. It's great.
Yeah, and I think the same about Tyler as well. So I think the only times we really see him properly is when they do the crossovers. Like I think it was Crisis on Infinite Earths. That was just the moments between Superman and Lois, and that were just awful. To put it nicely. And yeah, like I said, it's like they're obviously the same actors, but it's like they've just been given a completely different character brief, which is nice because it like you said, it really works. Yeah.
I mean, she's just like Lois from the current comic book runs that are going on, and yeah, Tyler's stepping it up, and it looks like he's bulked up a little bit too. Like Yeah, or maybe it's just the suit with the sprayed on abs, but it's looking great, you know.
It's working.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I like as well is that, well, I've only watched episode 1 so far, but you can see all the different details, and you can see that their fans, well, not necessarily the actors, but the people that are working on the show are fans as well. So there was a chalkboard, and it had it was like Dr. Siegel and Dr. Donna or something like that, or Call Donna and things like that. And I think that's just really nice. And it's, as a fan, watching it the first way through, I wouldn't notice that. And then I saw people posting it online, and then I think I'm going to watch it again and sort of sit there and nitpick all those little things.
Well, I told you when I watched the show, when they're doing the Fleischer suit thing, he's doing the pose from Action Comics #1 with the green car over his head. I didn't even notice that. I was locked in on the trunks. I'm like, they're doing the trunks. I didn't even notice the car for the homage that they were doing.
To be honest, the first thing I noticed was the green car, but that's because I've been cross-stitching that picture for about a year.
Right.
But they did miss a trick, though. They could have had someone run in the opposite way, like the guy in the bottom left corner. That would have been cool.
I hope we get to see more, like if we do flashbacks, I'd love to see more Jonathan and Martha Kent. I just love those characters. I loved, like in Lois and Clark, they're always there to give him advice and things. And that was like from the comic books at that time. And I always thought that was great. It kind of makes sense that they're not there because he's at a different stage of life now. He's married, he has Lois, he's got the kids. So, but I still like those characters. And I thought the moments with Martha that they did show were excellent. So good.
Yeah. And it kind of adds to his burden a little bit in the program because he's Superman. He has to be everywhere at once. And she was telling him to come home, and he obviously wasn't home in time. So that was pretty sad. But yeah, it was really emotional, but it was really good. But what I liked is that they're usually, when you get a TV, well, a film or program about Superman, it's focused in Metropolis. But I like that they've gone from Metropolis to Smallville.
Speaking of the people being fans, the editor of the Daily Planet was Foswell, who is a deep cut character from the Daily Planet who took over when Perry White was gone, and everybody hated him. And I was like, what? They're pulling this stuff from like way deep in the back catalog. I thought it was great.
Maybe it'll play a part to come then, if they're bringing things like that from the old comics, or little details like that.
Yeah, I hope so. And okay, but one thing that I was disappointed by was that Morgan Edge is going to be an antagonist in the show, and they didn't use the same actor as Morgan Edge from the Supergirl show. And he was fantastic. He was a great actor for that part. And it does make sense in continuity because this is after the crisis and everything got switched around. But it's probably explained more in episode 2, which I haven't seen yet. And feel free to tell me if I'm wrong, but I thought the same when they announced at the end that it was Captain Luthor, and I was like, that's not Lex, that's not John Cryer. It'd be interesting to find out what. I am satisfied with their explanation.
Okay.
And
there is an explanation.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And
I thought they just weren't going to say anything and just leave it at that.
Yeah, because I really hope they bring John Cryer in to this show because he's a fantastic Lex Luthor.
Agreed.
He's so good. And I hope they do. But the explanation that they give is very, I like it a lot, and it might even tie into other CW stuff, which will be interesting.
See, that makes me excited but worried at the same time because I like that it's all linked together, but I don't want it to fall back into that tone. Yeah,
the tone. If they keep the tone that they've got, but we can get some reappearances of some good performances from the other shows, I would love that. But yeah, don't do Legends of Tomorrow on us. You
know what? Out of all the CW shows, I think Legends of Tomorrow is my favorite.
Oh, really? Well, but that's the goofiest. That's the goofiest like one, you know.
I think that's why I like it because they know that they're being goofy, whereas the other ones are kind of trying to be. They're not trying to be serious, but they're more focused around real problems. Whereas the Legends of Tomorrow are fighting giant teddy bears called bees.
Yeah. To be honest, I haven't watched past season 2 of Legends of Tomorrow, which I enjoyed those first 2 seasons though.
And I like that. Well, we're going off on a complete tangent, but I like that Brandon Routh carried on in that series from. I can't remember which program he started in. It would have been
A Flash, was it?
He started in Arrow as Ray
Yes,
Palmer.
as Ray Palmer.
Yeah, and yeah, I just like him, and I like that his wife came into it as well and played his love interest. That was really sweet.
He's an excellent Superman, and I'm glad he got a second chance to play the part.
Redemption for sure.
Yeah. And you mentioned that Superman Returns was your favorite, and that film has a special place in my heart because that's the film that got my collection started.
Nice. Yeah, that's the one that came out when I was a teenager, and so I was just like on top of every single thing they released.
Same.
They released like the images of the street signs in Metropolis. I'm like, save. It's like nobody needs that. But I was, so just the amount of investment I put in, that's probably why it's my favorite.
Yeah. I think that's the one I went to see the most in cinema as well. I watched it must have been about 4 or 5 times. But it was worth it.
You will be surprised at my second favorite Superman movie, live action Superman movie. It's I'll tell it. It's Superman 3.
Oh.
Is my second favorite. And I get a lot of flack for that on my other podcast. They can't understand. And it's okay. I understand.
I mean, it's all right. That's the one with Richard Pryor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I like that one too, actually. I think out of those films, that's my second favorite out of the Christopher Reeve films.
Nice. Yeah. I just think because, when they made Superman 1 and 2, they're going for more serious, but looking at it nowadays, it does seem campy. And even though it wasn't necessarily going for that, but number 3 just leans in to the campy.
Yeah.
And so you
and
get
I
all
love
the
Richard Pryor. He's great. He just makes me laugh in whatever he does, whether he's trying to be funny or not.
Yeah. I think Mario Kidder's not my favorite Lois Lane. She doesn't evoke Lois to me, but Annette O'Toole, who plays Lana. Perfect. And and so I love her in that movie.
Okay. So on to Zack Snyder's Justice League then. What are your thoughts about that?
Oh boy.
Ashley's rubbing his hands together.
I cannot wait. I was so disappointed with the first movie. I remember the hype. I remember the build-up. I remember going to the cinema that night to see it, midnight showing at the Cineworld in Crawley. Beautiful cinema, hoping for a beautiful experience, and what we got just didn't deliver, unfortunately. I think the powers that be kind of tried to make something that was not quite Zack Snyder's vision. And disappointed a lot of people, but I am so excited. I thank all the fans that rallied around and got this thing going. I'm just thankful in general. I'm happy for Zack that he's getting that second shot at his masterpiece, the 3 films all together, and I cannot wait. I'm just happy for the fans more than anything else. This feels like justice.
No pun intended.
Well, exactly.
I'm pumped as well. I mean, I enjoyed the first one when I saw it in theaters because it's Superman on the big screen. But yes, it definitely could have used improvement. There was no dark side. I was very disappointed about that. But I am so pumped for this because it is Zack Snyder. He's doing his original vision. He's tying more things into the things that he's actually set up in the previous movies, so it's going to be more like a piece.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I loved, have you guys seen the Batman v Superman director's cut? The ultimate edition? Yeah, yes, much better in my opinion than the,
agreed.
It gives Clark a lot more motivation for what he's doing. And so the only thing that's going to disappoint me is that this is probably going to end on a cliffhanger. And
well, they've already confirmed that it is.
Yeah. So let's do another one. Start the next hashtag. I'm on board.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Evan. When I went to see it at midnight at cinema in Worcester with my cousin, and we always go and watch the superhero films together at midnight. So we watched Infinity War, Endgame, Justice League, and the difference in the impact on those 2 films were just so different, or well, the two cinema experiences. And yeah, I enjoyed the film. I didn't think it was bad. There were definitely bad moments, and there's things that obviously were set up before, like you said, that haven't been followed through. And yeah, it just was a completely different film to what we thought we were going to get. So yeah, I did enjoy the first one, or the original one, but I know this one is just going to blow everything out the water. I'm really excited.
Well, there's just so much squandered potential. I mean, you have J.K. Simmons, which is a huge get for Commissioner Gordon. He gets 2 minutes, of screen time, and he was counting on going into future films and stuff, and Ben Affleck is probably my favorite on-screen live-action Batman.
Oh, definitely agreed.
Yeah,
agreed. Such a badass.
I mean, I was sold on it when that one scene. It was in the trailer where for Batman v Superman, where the suit turns around, in that thing, and he's just looking at it like it's a curse. He's like, I have to put, like, I'm sick of this. I have to put it on, but I have to do it. And I was like, oh, okay, yes, this is good.
Yeah, he's a very good Batman. A lot of people give him a lot of stick for his portrayal of Batman, but I think I don't read a lot of Batman comics, but from the Batman comics that I have read, or the comics with Batman in, he's very comic accurate as Batman.
Not very much so. I think I remember Kevin Smith coming out and saying he got a sneak peek at the suit and it brought him to tears when he saw it. And I did as well. I mean, it's the most comic accurate Batman suit we've had. And just to reiterate what you was saying earlier on, my favorite, Bruce Wayne / Batman scene is, the Battle of Metropolis. He's there, he's on the ground, feet on the ground, and he's got that child that's just pointed up to where her mother should be, and in that second he's Batman and Bruce Wayne within a matter of seconds. He's Bruce Wayne.
I love that part where everyone's running away from all of the destruction and he's running towards it.
What an epic opening. So good.
Oh, amazing. And that's one of the things that I feel like Justice League lacked was, Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, they both felt like a cast of thousands. When Metropolis was under attack in the first movie, it felt like a populated city. Batman v Superman felt populated, but Justice League didn't. It just felt like the core actors in it and perhaps the family at the end. So I'm really hoping that we're going to get a scope that this is a world that is fully functioning and full of innocence of people, bystanders, the DC universe, as it were. That's my biggest hope, that it feels as populated as the other two movies did, because this felt, the movie that we got felt more shallow and not so dense. It just felt very kind of it felt very much like the cast that we had in it was basically all that we got. So and there were so many, a few moments where you look at it and you think, well, that has nothing to do with anything, and in particular the family that you're talking about at the end, like, what? Who are they? What are they doing? What's going on? But that kind of just took you out of it a little bit. And then I haven't seen it for a long time, but I'm trying to think where the final battle takes place. Where's that?
In a nuclear facility in Russia.
Oh, okay. So there's nobody there, like I said. So it's sort of less catastrophic. And I think, I don't think that's
no real stakes.
Yeah.
So two things I do hope they keep in from the previous Justice League, and I don't know if they will, is I love the part where Aquaman accidentally steps on Wonder Woman's lasso and starts spilling his guts about, his real feelings. I love that. And, I forgot it slipped my mind. I can't remember the next part that the post-credit with Superman racing Flash. I hope they keep that as well. Love that.
Well, that from the pictures, that was a reshoot, wasn't it? Because Henry Cavill had the moustache, so I'm not sure that will be in there. But that bit was fun. But the bit I liked was when Superman came back, and then they were like, "Oh, it's Pet Sematary," and then he starts basically beating the crap out of the whole of the Justice League. I love that bit.
That was a good scene. I hope they flesh out more of the nightmare sequence as well.
Yeah,
they will. I watched an interview with Zack Snyder. He said that's going to be. He said the sequel, the sequel that was supposed to happen, was going to be entirely in that nightmare universe.
Wow.
So the movie.
I'm here for that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that was the IGN panel thing, wasn't it? I watched it too. Yeah, it's gonna be so good. I'm so excited. And yeah, like I said, it's gonna end on a cliffhanger, and it's just gonna leave us wanting more. And in the I'll say IGTN then. In the IGN panel, they kept mentioning that, if HBO Max gave you the money, would you carry on with your story? And we'll come to that when it
never
gave a straight answer. He's like, we'll see.
So, always leave the door open.
Yeah, exactly. And judging by already the amount of subscriptions and whatever else, and the promo for HBO Max, just because of the Snyder Cut, I think it could be a possibility. I'm hoping so.
I hope so. I mean, even if it's not like the same budget, just finish the story. Give him like a series. If you can do Watchmen, for HBO, you can do an 8-episode miniseries even.
Yeah, for sure.
Just finish the story.
Yeah. So what are you hoping to see from? Are there any specific comic moments that you think might tie in that you want to see in the film?
I don't know. I mean, we haven't gotten too many, comic moments in the Snyderverse. It's more just like he's got these characters and he makes up his own moments most of the time. Yeah, so I don't know about comic book moments.
Is there anything in particular you want to see?
I mean, it's cool we're getting the black suit. I'm
excited.
I'm excited about that. Cool. I'm kind of sad it has a cape, but whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It's not going to be totally comic accurate. I can deal. It looks cool. I do hope they keep. I do hope they do still have a Superman versus the Justice League moment. I think they will. Yeah. That'll be so cool.
I think they will, and I think it's going to be quite brutal, or a lot more brutal than what it was. I think. Well, what happened in the other one? I think he literally backhanded Batman, stared at the Flash, and headbutted Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I love when the Flash is realizing, he's as fast as me.
Yeah,
I can't.
Yeah,
you can see the dread in his face.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, but there's not long to go. Also, I don't know exactly when this podcast will go out, but we're recording on the 4th of March. So it's exactly 2 weeks to go until the Snyder Cut is released on HBO Max. But they've released this massive list of countries and how they can watch it, but they haven't included the UK yet, which is just stressing me out now.
Well, haven't they said that it's coming out the same day?
They have, but they haven't actually told us anything. And it's just whispers and I'm presuming it's going to be the same release as Wonder Woman 84, and hopefully the same price, because consider it's a 4-hour film. I hope one price, not the price of 2 films. But I just it seems so close now. I just don't know why it's not announced and sorted yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a babysitter for my kids during the day so I can watch it. Take 4 hours and watch it.
Yeah, but I'm kind of glad that it's not. Well, I really want to see it in the cinema because it's just going to be epic. And they've already announced that they're doing a cinema release when they can.
Well, he filmed it in the IMAX aspect ratio instead of traditional widescreen. So it's that'll be kind of a bummer on our regular TVs because it's in the square format. But when they do release it on IMAX, that'll be epic.
Yeah.
Well, I did see an article actually of Godzilla vs Kong having a limited release in IMAX. So you never know. Justice League could make its way there as well, or even when the world does come back online a bit more, a future release down the line would be great as well.
Yeah. I think they're definitely going to release it in cinemas after. I'm pretty sure they mentioned that on the IGN panel. But yeah, I'm go on.
That panel was funny, and you should go watch it if you haven't, because the part where they're the girl who's interviewing him, the part where he talks about that it's a cliffhanger, she's like, she totally breaks her professionalism. She's like, "Oh, Zack." It's so funny. She's like, "Why? Like, why is it a cliffhanger?" I thought it was so funny.
Yeah, she was really good actually. It was like, I think they have like a relationship before, so their conversation flowed really well. And I liked where she was like, "Oh, we've got a question from Harry," and then it was Harry Lennox who plays Martian Manhunter, and that was pretty cool.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm glad the first time I get to watch it at this stage that it's not in a cinema, because 4 hours. I'm currently pregnant, so I'm going to the toilet like all the time. So it'll probably take me about 8 hours to watch the film with pause in it and going to the toilet and yeah. And I'd miss half. Go on.
They put an intermission in, so that's nice.
I know, but I'd still.
I took my wife to go see Star Wars Force Awakens when she was pregnant. We sat in the front row. She still fell asleep because of the pregnancy. So, yes.
Front row is never a good place for a cinema to sit.
It was packed. We had to sit there. Yeah, it was a bummer.
You just kind of your necks get cramping. Yeah. You can't. You have to look. You have to turn your head to see different moments of the film. It's just you miss so much.
Yeah.
I watched Cloverfield in the front row. Now that was an experience.
Oh, ouch!
I watched Paranormal Activity at the front row, and that's one of those films where something happens in one corner, and I'd be looking at the other corner, and I'd be like, "Oh, nothing's even happening," and everyone's screaming, and then I realise it's on the other side.
Well, we wasn't too far from the front when we went to see Birds of Prey.
Yeah, I think that wasn't too bad though, because even at the front it was kind of far away enough, if that makes sense.
I have bad blood with that movie.
Why?
Because they put Cassandra Kane in it. My second favorite comic book hero ever. And she's nothing. She's nothing like the only thing that is similar. The only two things that make her similar to Cassandra Kane in the comic books is that she is female and she is of Asian descent. And that is it.
I don't suppose her dad was David Kane either.
No, like, come on. Man, what a wasted opportunity.
I enjoyed the film. I remember I went to see it with Ashley, and then I took my partner to watch it probably a week after or something like that, or a few weeks after, and I was like, watch this bit, it's really good, and he went, it's crap. He just hated it. I loved it, but I think when you look at it from that perspective, if that's your favorite character and it's nothing like what you're expecting, then I understand that.
Well, I mean, despite whatever else about the movie, Margot Robbie is just the perfect Harley Quinn. She's just fantastic. So.
Agreed. So, speaking of films, how are we feeling about the new announcement of a new Superman film?
Obviously, I'm happy about a new Superman film, but I don't want them to ditch Henry Cavill.
Yeah, agreed. How do you feel about the writer? And I'm going to try and pronounce the name, and I apologize again, like I said before, if this is wrong, but Ta-Nehisi Coates is the writer, and he's got a prolific run with Black Panther. So a lot of people are leaning towards the idea that this isn't going to be Kal-El or Clark Kent. Yeah. So it's going to be a different version.
I'm familiar with the. Sorry.
Oh, you go ahead.
I was going to say I'm familiar with the writer from his most recent run on Captain America as well. So I mean, he's an outstanding writer. I just like to think that Warner Brothers will go down the path of maybe having two Supermans. I mean, we're going to have two Batmans, maybe two Supermans. So maybe have it Henry Cavill proceeding on in Zack's universe, if we have the luck to have that. And then is it Val Zod, played by Michael B. Jordan, that they're in talks about?
There's two. There's Calvin Ellis, and then there's Val Zod. Or are they the same? I'm not too sure.
Because he's the president Superman, right?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
From the multiverse, yeah. See, I would be 100% okay with that if we have an African American Superman, or you guys are from the UK, so you guys don't say African American, do you? No. What do you guys say? Black. Okay, so it's over here in America. It's always changing, like the appropriate things to, all the political correctness. But anyway, I would be 100% okay with a black Superman if it's not Clark Kent, because I think if you change somebody's race, especially growing up in Middle America, you're gonna have it's going to be a different character because the upbringing is going to be influenced different. I mean, I don't think there's a way to get around that. Whereas if it's, if it was Superman and he never came to Earth or America and you have him grow up on Krypton, it doesn't matter what race he is because it's a completely fictional society and, you can have whatever implications you want. But yes, if we have a black Superman and it's a multiverse Superman or it's Steel, or
Steel would be so good.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Like I'm 100% on board. Fantastic. But again,
can we have a cameo from Shaquille O'Neal as well?
Yes.
Please.
Yes. But I think if you change Superman's ethnicity, like Clark Kent's ethnicity, to anything other than what he is and the upbringing he has, it changes him into a different character. And I think we've seen that in all the Elseworlds, where like the billion Elseworlds where he lands somewhere else other than America. It's certain things stay the same, but much of the way he's brought up, it changes the character to something other than the Superman we've known.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see Henry Cavill back and it be the Clark Kent Superman, and it would, they haven't specifically said that it is going to be a black Superman, so it could still be Henry Cavill, and this could all be just people speculating, which it most likely is, hopefully. But yeah, I'm not mad at an idea of a black Superman, and I think I'm with you. I think if they do it, I want it to be a different version of Superman, so like Val-Zod or President Superman or Steel. I'd love for it to be Steel.
Because President Superman, I haven't read much of his stuff, but it's a really interesting concept, and you could go into some crazy cool like political thriller stuff with something like that. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, and I don't know. Part of me doesn't think the world is ready for a black Superman, and I say that in the nicest way possible because, a couple of months ago, look at all the stuff that was in the news, like George Floyd, and it's still all happening now. So I would love for it to happen, but I think if it did happen, the backlash sadly, the backlash that DC or the character would get would be ridiculous.
Well, I think there's a difference between, having a character or a person of color be in these characters' roles than retconning the actual character, searching for an example, like with Ironheart, who is an African-American woman who is Iron Man's apprentice, that's great, but I don't think you should make Tony Stark black or Hispanic or whatever, or change his ethnicity. And I don't like it when they do that with genders either, changing an established character's gender. But if you introduce a new person who takes on the role in a legacy sort of fashion, I think that's fantastic. Do that all you want,
Yeah. It's a tricky one. Like, I think it depends on what it is as well. So, for example, in Supergirl, obviously James Olsen in Supergirl is black, and obviously he's white and ginger in the comics. So that's kind of the same thing that you're talking about. But I don't mind that they changed it.
Well, and he's a side character, but I think if you honestly look at it, though, he is a totally different character from Jimmy Olsen in the comic books. I mean, he's taller, confident, he's got a deep voice, so he's definitely a cool character, but it's not little nerdy, in peril all the time, Jimmy Olsen,
Yeah, it's just it's a tricky one, isn't it? It's one of those things where I think, regardless of what version of Superman it is and whoever is cast, I think so many people are set on Henry Cavill returning as Superman. They're going to fade. Well, I've already had, I think I tweeted about the news when it came out, and someone put, let's boycott the movie. And I was just like, you don't know what the situation is. You don't know who
there's no room for that kind of negativity, is there?
Yeah, and
like even I say this stuff, But then you look at Spider-Man and you have Zendaya as Mary Jane.
Yeah.
I love her as Mary Jane. Is she like Mary Jane in the comic books? No. But it's a great new take on the character, and I love her as the role. So
yeah, but that's it. Even if they do change the ethnicity, the race, the gender, whatever, it could just act as another platform for a new version of that character, if that makes sense. Like the same character, but another storyline or another situation that we haven't seen before. So either way, I think we're in for a treat. And yeah, I'm just excited that they're making another Superman film.
Well, J.J. Abrams is producing, correct?
Yeah.
They also confirmed that. And he was going to do Superman Flyby in the early 2000s. That was the name of his film.
Yeah,
And
I heard about that.
Yeah, the concept art for that looked awesome. So if that's, who knows if that's any indication about what's coming, but look it up. It's really cool looking.
Well, if memory serves, that was at the O2 Superman DC exhibit that we went to. They showed some concept art from the Superman flyby. So
was
definitely
it
some unique and interesting.
Was it the flyby or was it the Tim Burton?
I thought it was two. I think there was they had the Tim Burton was it the bust sculpt, and then there was some really organic artwork regarding maybe Brainiac for Flyby.
I can't remember.
They definitely had Brainiac for Burton's movie, and that's something that HBO needs to do is make Tim Burton's movie as an animated film. You know, like how they did
Yes.
those animated Adam West Batman movies continuing.
Yeah,
You know,
because I'm sure Nick Cage will be up for it as well. I mean, after
Absolutely.
voicing, Spider-Man Noir in the Spider-Verse movie.
he was Superman in the Teen Titans movie.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, they should do it because I think I'm not sure if it's HBO Max, but I'm pretty sure Tim Burton is doing an Addams Family animated. I don't know if it's a film or a series. So
I don't know if it's animated, but he's doing a Wednesday Addams series.
Oh,
focusing on
that's it.
Wednesday Addams. Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully, I love Tim Burton. I think he's great, and I think, well, this could be like a follow-on from. I know, obviously, because we've got the announcement of Superman 78 comic and Batman 89, so that would be a good opportunity to do that. I know, obviously, Richard Donner. It's based off Richard Donner, not Tim Burton. Whereas, yeah, but I think
Tim Burton did 89 Batman.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's what I mean. But I think maybe that could be a good opportunity for them to jump on that.
Have you guys seen that documentary, The Death of Superman Lives? What happened?
I've seen a lot of Superman documentaries, and they've all kind of blurred into one. I'm not sure which one.
There's a guy who went out and made a documentary about the Tim Burton's movie, and it's fascinating. It is fascinating.
No, I haven't seen that one.
It's called The Death of Superman Lives: What Happened? ? And it's just very interesting. And I'm not a Tim Burton fan, but
okay.
I would watch that movie. And I, just out of curiosity, I would love to see what he had in store for the character.
Yeah, I think the story is very similar to that of George Miller's Justice League movie, because of course they were in Australia. The actors were in the suits, all ready to start shooting, and for whatever reason, I think it was the writer's strike at the time, or perhaps money fell through at the last minute and they had to cancel. So I do believe I've seen the documentary you're talking about. Was that the John Schnepp?
That sounds right.
Yeah, very fascinating story indeed.
Yeah.
It's amazing how close these two movies got to fruition, and then unfortunately fell through right at the last minute.
My favorite detail about that was that they were going to have a giant Brainiac spider fight Superman, and the producer wanted the giant spider so much that when Superman got canceled, he just put it in Wild Wild West with Will Smith.
Do you know what?
I think I remember Kevin Smith thoughts about that.
Yeah.
You know what? I love Wild Wild West. It's a good film.
I have never seen it all the way through. I've seen bits and pieces on TV.
I think that's the one what Will Smith said was the only film he regrets doing. Wild Wild West, but I quite enjoyed it. And I think it was because of the giant mechanical spider.
But I definitely remember that story because I remember Kevin Smith on one of his Fat Man on Batman podcast talking about sitting and watching the Man of Steel and seeing the World Engine, and he was like, "It's got legs."
Yeah.
Someone trying to do something here. So yeah.
Well, I just love that producer was like, giant spider. I don't care how. I don't care what movie.
Yeah.
Giant spider. That's all
It's
he
like,
wanted.
can't shake this itch, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch that document. I haven't seen that one. So I'm gonna have to watch that. That's my homework.
Nice.
You've been listening to the Aspiring Kryptonians podcast. For more information about us, head over to our website over on theaspiringkryptonian.com, where you can find our social media handles, our weekly written comic reviews, and you can also contact us via the website. A huge thank you to you for taking the time to listen to the podcast, and until next week, we bid you farewell. And remember, we aren't birds and we aren't planes. We are the Aspiring Kryptonians.